Welcome back to another episode of Sound Pals Go to the Movies. Touly is busy, so I will be reviewing The Night House by myself. Just a fair warning, there's going to be spoilers up ahead, so you've been warned. A widow begins to uncover her recently deceased husband's disturbing secrets. So let us begin. My first pro about this movie is the imagery that happens sort of like an illusion that blends the mental state of Beth, played by Rebecca Hall, to the moment she sees things or encounters strange things such as the teenager girls jumping to their death from the edge of her house to the lake below, to the shadowy figures that appear to be made by facades of pillars or corners or edges of walls, to the ceiling creating a face silhouette. These tricks with the camera are well done and makes one try to spot them in every tense scene as if they are keys to the mystery of the movie. Unfortunately, these events are left unconfirmed if they are dreams or they are real ghostly events that happen to Beth. The camera work is really well done. They follow the subject without panning off to an obscure corner for a cheap jump scare. I believe there was only one jump scare that I noticed throughout the whole movie. I'm not 100% sure, but since they don't stand out much, I really didn't notice them. My next point is the plot of Beth. She has been placed in a spot where her whole world is flipped upside down and she can't make sense of it all. She is going through a tough time, and to add to that, she feels like she might be going crazy by having a mental breakdown, until she begins to unveil the deep dark secret of her ex-husband, who she is having a hard time understanding or believing. This whole plot was executed very well by actress Rebecca Hall, who plays Beth. During the second part of the movie, a very interesting character to decode. The idea of having a loved one take their life without saying anything or leaving behind any evidence of why they did what they did is a truly hard to handle situation, let alone at the underlying secret that she uncovers throughout the movie. Kudos to Rebecca Hall for executing this role of Beth very well with minimal cons. My next point is the cast. Like I said, we have Rebecca Hall playing Beth, the wife who has recently lost her husband, but we also have Sarah Goldberg, who plays Claire, the best friend of Beth, who is there no matter what and tries to get her to open up to her. Both play a game of tug of war, with Beth wanting to be left alone to grieve, while Claire desperately being concerned for her friend Beth and her well-being by telling her that she's always there for her and generally really caring. At first, Beth comes out like uncaring to others in the beginning of the film, but by the end, she is just being cold due to the overwhelming conflict evidence that she has uncovered about her husband. This makes her character seem really despiceful or even borderline bitchy to others in the movie, such as the parent of her students or even the bookstore girl who she encounters further in the movie. Now compare this to the pictures that we see of Beth on her husband's phone gallery, which seems that she's really cheerful and outgoing. This is a very contrast image that we get from Beth from before to now, and I really enjoy that part. Now moving on to my cons. My first con is the beginning of the movie. It doesn't really explain much. It seems like we're just thrown into the deep end of a pool and left there to tread water, because we can't make heads or tails of the situation. I'm not saying for them to have shown us the actual scene where Owen, Beth's husband, takes his life, but maybe show us a montage of the two before the event, taking a vacation or hanging out with friends, having fun, and then abruptly switch to the after events where we watch Beth drinking and completely being destroyed. This way we can establish how she was before and compare it to the way she is now, and furthermore establish her character, and basically we get to relate to her in the sense that we're almost like her friend. Next point is the whole plot. When she begins to see the girls jump off the lake versus the book and the love doll, all these things don't seem to connect to either the entity that seems like death that wants Beth back. For example, what do the girls have to do with Owen or the entity that's after Beth? I thought Owen was trying to trick the entity by bringing women that look like Beth to the reverse house across the lake. Also, what does the love doll, which is sort of a love voodoo doll, have to do with Owen or the entity? It's not like the woman brought to the reverse house had to be placed under a certain curse or something. And then we have the book, whose title is Caerdroia, which is the word for a Welsh maze or labyrinth. I would like them to link all these things together better and also talk about the reverse house. But no, we are left trying to connect the dots with no definite answer. Now let's talk about the entity. What is it really? Some might say that it's the Death Reaper, or it's Beth's end of the tunnel coming back for her. Some might even label it a demon that likes to torture women. But the movie just leaves us staring just like Beth into an empty boat with a silhouette of a human figure sitting there with no explanation, no answer, and no feeling of resolve to cling on to. Final point is the ending. It's so unsatisfying. I thought I was taken for a ride, that all along I was waiting for a big climax, but it never really took off or never came. At the end, I was just stringed along along for the whole ride, and the plot never developed and never got anywhere. The big reveal never came, and I was just left to make up my own conclusion of the movie. So I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 10. The acting by Rebecca Hall was great. She just needed a better script to make her acting really shine, and with a strong conclusion at the end. So that does it for this review of The Night House. Please join us next time when we are going to review Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
My name is Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Shang.
Shang. Shang.
S-H-A-N-G. Shang.
That's what I said. Oh, you can turn it up? Yeah, you can hear me.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. You can find our social media links below. And like always, keep watching movies.